My name is Scott Talley, and we're coming to you from the offices of Network in Action. We're blessed today to have Mike Hammel with us. Mike is the owner of Guiding Light Home Inspection Services and has done an inspection a time or two, I imagine. So we're going to find out, Mike, what inspired you? How'd you get into the business to begin with?
Interestingly enough, I had been commercial industrial electrician for over 20 years. Got laid off what I deemed to be my final time and got into doing home inspections, and I've been doing it ever since.
Awesome. So our audience always likes a good story. Tell us about home inspection. So it starts with a person ready to purchase a home, and usually probably the mortgage company requires an inspection, or certainly if I want to make a purchase that large, I want to get the home inspected. So you'll be called out on behalf of the buyer to look at the home. And what are the type of things you look at?
We look at everything, and interestingly enough, it could be the buyer or the seller who wants the home inspection. For the buyers, who we do our typical inspections for, they'll call us when they're in their option period, and we come out, do the inspection from the ground up. So we're looking at the foundation, walls, windows, doors, roof, AC, heat, electrical, plumbing, and then the same thing inside, floors, ceilings, walls, windows, and doors.
So almost the only thing you're not inspecting is for pest control type of situation, termite, that type of thing.
We actually do the termite inspections as well.
Is that a part of the same inspection, or is that a separate inspection?
It's actually a separate inspection, but I've been a Texas Department of Agriculture commercial pest control technician for 8 years as well.
So that's a good point for our listening audience. If you're going to have your home inspected, you need to recognize whether or not your inspector is certified in order to do those both type inspections. Is that right?
Correct. And one of the things I did when I came into the industry was to make sure I learned and was able to get licensed or certified in every aspect of the business.
Yeah.
So not only am I licensed for inspections and pest control, but I'm also licensed to do septic and well, and quite a number of other things.
So on a typical, say, 3,500 to 4,000 square foot home, you'll spend how many hours on the property looking at the different items to inspect?
Depending on if it's just the home, it could be anywhere from 3 to 5 hours.
Okay. And you're looking for any items that might need repair or wear and tear, things that aren't operating, and you end up giving a report back to the customer. Is that what I understand?
Correct. So when we get, ideally we want to finish the report or the inspection, finish the report, and deliver it to the client while we're still on site.
Oh, wow. So the client, does usually the client follow around with you and the realtor, or just the client, or how does that work?
If the client's able to be at the inspection, we allow them to walk the inspection with us, and I do take time, upwards of another hour, to answer their questions while I'm doing the inspection, because I want them to be able to see everything I see as I'm doing the inspection.
This must be an industry that's got some litigation. What type of protection do you have, and what type of protection does the homeowner have?
So the state requires us to carry $100,000 E&O insurance. My company carries a $1 million E&O insurance policy and a $3 million general liability policy.
So you're pretty well protected.
Yes, sir.
What are some of the things that an inspector who's not doing his job, like tell us a nightmare story or two of something you've heard that didn't show up in an inspection report and how it affected the sale of the home?
I've heard a number of things.
That one.
Yeah, not thinking of any off the top of my head. I can tell you about one really bad one I had. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. And the best part of the entire house was the roof. We turned on the water, and water started shooting out of the walls.
Oh, wow.
I nudged the toilets each inspection to make sure they're not loose, and it fell over. The electric water heater was directly outside of the shower with exposed wiring, so it was really bad.
Wow. And that ends up in a report back to the buyer.
Correct.
Do they end up going through on that house?
I think if they did purchase it, they purchased it for the property because they were looking for kind of a little getaway place out away from everything, take the kids and play in the woods and stuff.
Gotcha. So how does a home inspector like you sort of separate himself from the others in the industry? Since it is regulated, you're all required to pass certain classes, and you also have a certain amount of insurance. What are the type things that you do that separates you from other companies?
So for me, like I was saying a minute ago, I wanted to get licensed and certified in everything I can so we can be a one-stop shop, so to speak. They can call us, and whatever they have on their property, we can inspect it. I do have one of my inspectors is licensed for mold as well, so we can do mold inspections or air quality testing. If they have septic and well on their property, we can go out and do it as well without having to have a separate company come out and do it for them, to where they're charged additional fees or whatever. So it makes it a lot easier for the client to call us to get everything done at one time.
It's interesting to note also that you welcome the purchaser to, or whoever's ordered the survey, the inspection to follow you. I know in times past I've sort of been discouraged from, so I would think that's another differentiator for you, that you welcome the person to follow you and ask questions, you even leave some time for them.
Absolutely. In fact, a lot of inspectors don't want their clients to follow them around because they get too sidetracked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and my goal is to focus on a particular area if they're asking me a question, and then whenever we're done, then I move on from there and continue doing what I was doing.
And when you first started in your business, how did you start to build your business? Did you do that with networking or other types of marketing?
Interestingly enough, when I first got into the industry, I worked for a larger firm for my first 3 years. And then when I left them and started my company, I kind of rolled over with the realtors that I had acquired through the other company who stayed with me, which was nice. And so I was able to build off of that, and then through networking as well.
Yeah. So we'd like to talk a little bit about networking. Tell us what your networking experience has been to date.
Minimal, so to speak. I did some time with BNI and a couple of other smaller groups, and Moose and I started building a relationship about a year ago, and then we just joined Network in Action last month.
Yeah, I'll leave that alone that you said you did some time with the other networking group.
Yes.
But, okay, great. Well, listen, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with today? Any thoughts about the company or what direction you're headed in? Do you have other inspectors working with you, or do you anticipate hiring others?
I do have one other full-time inspector right now, 2 part-time inspectors. I just brought on a full-time office manager, and we are looking to grow by leaps and bounds over the next 3, 4, 5 years. And we want to be the best inspection firm in the state, at least.
Fantastic. And what are some of those? You say you're looking to grow, but like, how does that look? Do you just hire other people to get out and network with other realtors? Do the realtors drive your business primarily?
A bulk of it is realtors, and then we want to get it to where it is mostly word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Perfect. Well, listen, we're really grateful that you came in today. Thank you for your time and for educating our audience a little bit about real estate inspection.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.